Hey, what's up? Yeah, I was in the cinema yesterday and had the pleasure of watching the new Dune number two, the first sequel. I suppose there will at least be one more because there are still things that haven't happened that are supposed to happen. Yeah, but I just want to say, yeah. In comparison to the first let's compare it to the first part. There isn't as much drama, but and there's a little more action, yeah, and fighting scenes in this one. But still, it is a very good film, and I just loved, you know, the way Timothy Chalamet portrayed Paul in this film. Also, he was, yeah, just on fire. And both him and I think also some of the other best actors, Javier Bardem, of course, and Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica, were both marvelous, really marvelous. We also had a rare cameo by Christopher Walken, which is always a pleasure to see that guy, that face. Even though he didn't appear that much, but he had a few scenes, and yeah. So he was rather a surprising choice as the Emperor because in the original, like in '84 movie, the Emperor was played by Jose Ferrer, who looks very different, of course. And yeah, so anyway, Stellan Skarsgård wasn't that much this time. He wasn't actually the main villain, even though he appeared in quite many scenes, but each time just briefly. This time it was Fade Rauta who was, like the scourge, the bad guy. And boy, is he intimidating. He was very well played also by Austin Butler. Yeah, who I feel I have, kind of, when he first appeared, as Elvis and some other roles in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I was like, who the hell is this guy? How could I have missed him? And yeah, so he was really very convincing as a kind of a psychotic, murderous character who just enjoys killing and seeing blood and yeah. But yeah, it is implied that he has now begot a child with that other Bene Gesserit, Anyway, yeah, so that was an interesting scene as well. And yeah, but now we come to the weak point of the movie. Chani, Zendaya. So I didn't like her portrayal at all. I thought she was just all too much attitude, the screaming and slap. I didn't get why she had to slap Paul in that scene. What the hell was that about? Like she had brought him back to life, and then she was like, how could you do this? She acted too much like this teenage, like angry girlfriend, while actually her character should be a lot more mature and removed from that kind of like angry, grumpy, whatever teenager that she looked like there. I don't know really why they made her like that, but I didn't like it. And also, I don't think Zendaya did so well. She did make a lot of grimaces, that's for sure, like angry faces and confused faces. But yeah, I just don't think it was a good casting at all, to be honest. And yeah, I didn't like the movie actually ended with her. That was kind of little, yeah. But anyway, And we had Florence Pugh also appear in a role of Paul's future wife, Princess Irulan, daughter of the Emperor. And yeah, I like her. She didn't have that much screen time, but she did well. And finally, Anya Taylor Joy appeared as like in this weird sort of future, you know, not flashback but flash forward as Paul's sister, who is already now, an adult more or less, but hasn't been born in reality. So these scenes were really great. I mean, when Jessica and Paul drink the water of life, oh man, that was like some of the most impressive fantasy scenes you can see, you can expect to see in the cinema. I mean, that was just, you know, yeah, top notch stuff, man, for sure. And yeah, I like the way Jessica changes, her character changes. Otherwise, it would be a little too boring, you know. She had just stayed that same doting mother and concerned, wise woman, whatever. You know, she now becomes a sort of a fanatic whose only goal is to make her son, make everybody like submit to her son and accept him as the, you know, Messiah or Kwisatz Haderach, as they call it. So yeah, that was very impressive, and the way they all both get blue eyes, that was also nice to see. I mean, Paul and Jessica, they didn't originally have blue eyes, none of them, and yeah, also another nice welcome return, even though brief, was Josh Brolin as Gurney Halleck. And in the first movie, when they didn't show him get killed, I was like, yeah, maybe he survived. Probably did. That was, and I had a hunch that he probably would appear again. So yeah. However, I didn't like what they did to Raban. Raban was shown this time as a much more of a, like this almost cowardly, like weak, desperate, frustrated character. Except in the scene where he like kills that guy with his bare hands because he's so angry. He doesn't show enough of his beastly character, which made him what he is, the beast, Raban, right? So when spoiler by the way, Gurney kills him, he's like, yeah, it just doesn't give you enough pleasure, right? Otherwise, had he been all the time like shown as really the brute, the loathsome, evil brute, killing people and like gloating and having pleasure at it, then it would give us a lot more pleasure seeing him get slain. So yeah, some good scenes also in the arena where when Fate fights that doctor, the Atreides doctor. Yeah. So the thing is, it's very interesting. He derives pleasure from being kind of humiliated almost, because you see when he's so close to getting killed, to losing that fight, he really like looks like turned on, and then he kills the guy, of course. So yeah, it's interesting just how different he was also from Raban in the '84 Lynch version and this version. They are not that different, They are just both hulking brutes, loathsome. But the original, like the Sting version, and this version are very different. This version is much more futuristic, both in his appearance and like that. Just I mean, also the Fade that Sting plays is merciless, but he's more presented as this rather good-looking guy. I mean, even his uncle Baron Vladimir in the '84 version is like I remember the scene where they both appear, him and Robin. He's like, "Oh, beautiful fate." It's almost like he's in love with him because he looks good. But this fate, he just looked, like a monster. You couldn't call him, attractive in any way. So yeah, that's interesting why they chose to make him look. I mean, he had a nice figure and all that, like a nice muscular but light build, but still, his face and everything. He just looks too monstrous, but in a different way than Raban. So that's also a good one. He's like more like that, more slight, like how do you say, a little more elegant, version of monstrosity. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, music was just beautiful. Of course, Hans Zimmer, he never disappoints. Especially at the end, that last theme, the sad love theme. Yeah, really beautiful. It really kind of capped off the film in the best possible way. Yeah. I only wish that they didn't give Chani that much credit or attention, but yeah, at some point I just felt like screaming, "Oh, to hell with you!" She was just so annoying. I don't like. Yeah, I mean Zendaya as a person, she looks kind of charming otherwise in real life, but in these movies and in Euphoria as well, in that TV show, I didn't like her. I just wanted to smack her. So yeah, but yeah, that's how it's hard to to cast everybody so well. I mean everybody else was pretty much cast right. So yeah. Anyway, so there you have it. Of course, the sandworms. What is to say? But they kicked ass. Yeah. All right.